I would say one of the best practices, as I already mentioned, is having some structure in place around removing those pebbles and annoyances from people. Now, that can be having some sort of committee structure, or even a 1-800 number that people report problems to, that there's a team of people on the back end who are
Right.
addressing. I think one of the other innovative solutions that I just recently heard about is one of the hospitals created an innovation unit, and it is the place that they test any new changes that are being recommended. And the concept there is nurses who like to be on that leading edge, nurses who like that challenge of changes and are comfortable and enjoy even the ambiguity, are the ones that work out the bugs in the system. And then it gets rolled out to the rest of the organization. And I think there's twofold things that are really nice about that. One is, just having this place to test it out. But secondly, when it does get rolled out, the other nurses in the organization have some confidence that their colleagues have given it their good housekeeping seal of approval. So I think that's one of the things. The second thing is, I think everybody is experimenting with staffing and new models of care delivery,
Mhm.
including using technology and robots or artificial intelligence or something. And I would say, if you're not doing that, once again, think about doing some sort of micro test of change on a unit or a handful of units.
Mhm.
And, that is everything from bringing LPNs into the ICU to do some of the task-based work so that RNs can care for more patients, but focus more on the intellectual work that they need to do in caring for those patients. I also heard the other day about a unit that is using a nurse practitioner RN LPN model of care. We also certainly have seen people bring in virtual nurses. So I think whatever people
Right.
are doing, another, I think, really inventive idea based upon one of the things that happened during the pandemic. During the pandemic, we brought lots of nurses from the perioperative area and ambulatory care centers into acute care. Some of those nurses loved that work. And so one hospital is testing having nurses work 13 weeks on an inpatient unit and 13 weeks either in periop or an ambulatory setting.
Right.
Based upon 13 weeks, because most travel nurses work 13 weeks, they
Right.
don't know if that's the right model, but giving nurses this kind of interesting job where they can work two different practice settings. There are 1,000 logistics to make that work. But the fact that people are trying and testing it and trying
Right.
to figure out if it works. I think back to when I was in the 80s and 90s, we were very creative about staffing. We had weekend only work. We had 9-month work so that women or men who wanted to be home with their school-age children in the summer could be home with their school-age children. So I think tapping into all of that creativity
Right.
is something that we're going to have to do.